Hello everyone, welcome to typing.com. Today we'll be setting up a teacher account. I'll be walking you through all of the features that typing.com offers. Now, if this is your first time using typing.com, you need to know that we have two portals. We have one for teachers, that is typing.com/teacher/login, and we have one for students, and that is typing.com/student/login. Now let's go back to my teacher portal, and this is our login page. This is where teachers are going to go and access their teacher accounts. If you didn't have a teacher account, you will go here and click sign up for free. Before I create my account, you can see these three buttons right here. You can sign up with Google, Clever, or ClassLink. You can integrate typing.com with Google Classroom, Clever, or ClassLink. If you are rostering your classes through Google Classroom, click sign up with Google. But if you're rostering your classes through Clever or ClassLink, you need to contact the IT admin at your school and ask him or her to add the typing.com application and share the data with us. Once the data is shared with us, the student accounts and teacher accounts will get created automatically. So teachers don't have to come here and create an account. For this video, I am going to create a standard username and password account. That means that whenever I access my account, I'll have to go to the login page and enter my username and password. Now I'm going to go ahead and create my account. I'm going to click next. Now I need to select the type of account that I want to create. I can create a homeschool account, a teacher account, school account, etc. As I mentioned earlier, I'm setting up a teacher account now. So I'm going to click teacher. Next, I have to select the country and enter the name of my school. Next, I have to check this box right here, and then I have to click sign up. As soon as I create my account, this is what I'm going to see. You can see here that we have a welcome tour that will show you how to do things here on your teacher account. For now, I'm going to skip the tour because I'll be showing you how to do these things. So first, we can see your dashboard. On your dashboard, you have this section right here, and it's a real-time activity feed. On this section, you are going to see all of the students that are currently online. Later on, when I create student accounts, I will access one of the student accounts, and you will be able to see that information on this section right here. Next, we have my classes. Here, I'm going to create a new class. But if you're rostering your classes through Google Classrooms or Clever Library, you will have to first access your teacher account, then go to My Classes. And right here on this section, there's going to be a button that reads Sync with Classroom for Google Classrooms or Sync with Clever for Clever Library. Once you click that button, you're going to see all of your classes in either Google Classroom or Clever Library. On this window, you will have to check or uncheck the classes that you want to add or remove. So now I'm going to create a new class. Here I have to enter the name of the class, the grade, period. I can also change the curriculum, the language of the website, the keyboard layout, and I can also change the status of my class. If my class is paused, my students won't be able to log in until the class is active. So I'm going to go ahead and create this class now. And then click Create Class. Now I'm going to close this page just so that you can see what the class looks like. So I'm going to close it. And you see that this is the class that I just created. Now, you're going to go inside your class. And once you're inside your class, you're going to add students. We have 4 methods to add students. You can add a single student. I'm gonna enter the password. You can enter the name, the last name, email, those are optional. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a single student. Now I got this error. It says that my username is already being used. Now, you're probably thinking, why can't he add a student right now if he hasn't added any students yet? Usernames must be unique across all of typing.com. So just because I don't have a student with this username already, that doesn't mean that another user in a different school in a different country is already using this username. So if you get that error message, you have to change the username and try again. Okay, now I've added my single student. Let's close this window to see what that looks like. Now, if you have a student that doesn't have a name and only a username, you can always click this pencil icon right here. And on this page, you can enter the name, the email, and change the password. Now, if you're rostering your classes through Google Classroom, Clever, or ClassLink, you won't be able to edit this information. You will have to make the changes on Google Classroom first or Clever Library, and then you will have to resync your account by going to My Classes and clicking Sync with Classroom or Clever. Or if you're rostering your classes through Clever or ClassLink, you will have to make the changes on Clever or ClassLink first and then wait for the account to resync overnight. Earlier I mentioned that there are 4 methods to add students. We just added a single student. Now we're going to add a block of students. How does that work? Here you can enter the number of students that you want in your class. So let's say that my class has 10 students. I'm going to enter a username prefix. That means that all of my students are going to have the same username prefix, and the only thing that's going to change is the last number. Then I'm going to select an initial password, and it's going to be the same password for all of my students. And here at the bottom, you can force the students to set their name and change their password when they log in for the first time. Now I'm going to click Create Student Block. And that's it. I've added 10 students to my class. The third way to add students is by using the self-join link. Whenever you create a class in typing.com, each class will have a unique link. That link, you can share it with your students and they'll be able to join your class with a new or an existing account. Now let's pretend that I'm a student and my teacher gave me this self-join link. As a student, I'm going to go to my computer, open a browser, and open the link that my teacher gave me. When I open that link, I am going to see this page right here that's asking me to join my teacher's class with an existing account or a new account. I'm going to go ahead and click Create a New Account. I'm going to enter the username, password. I'm not going to enter an email for now, and I'm going to check this box here, and I'm going to click Sign Up. If I go back to the teacher portal and refresh my page, you can see this notification here that says that I have one student requesting to join my class. I'm going to click on that notification, and this is the student account that I just created. I'm going to go ahead and accept it. Now, if I go back to my classes, that student, it's right here. So that's how the self-join link works. And the fourth method to add student is by importing a list of students. You will have to generate a CSV file. We have a sample here that you can copy. You are going to enter all of the student usernames, all of the passwords, and eventually upload that file here. And then once you click begin import, all of your students will get added to your class. Now, since we're already inside a class, let's go over some of the features and things that you can change. If we go to assignments here, I'm going to go ahead and create an assignment. I can assign the typing lessons, digital literacy lessons, the typing assessments, or a written prompt. I'm going to go ahead and create a couple of assignments so that later on when I log in as a student, you'll be able to see what that looks like. I'm going to assign the very first lesson. Now, when you create an assignment, you're given the option to add the due date. If your students don't complete the assignment by the due date, the assignment will get removed from the student portal, and you, the teacher, will have to come in here and edit the due date or create a new assignment. Finally, I'm going to click Create Assignment. Let's go ahead and create another assignment, and this time it's going to be a written prompt. You have to enter the word count, and again, the due date is optional. I'm going to go ahead and click Create Assignment. Next, we're going to go to Settings. First, we have the Details tab. On this tab, you can change the name of the class, the grade period, you can change the curriculum, and you can also change the self-join code. The self-join code is the very last part of the self-join link. So you can change this to make it easier for your students. When I click Save All Changes, my self-join link will change. Next, we have the Games tab. Here is where you are going to enable or disable the games. If you don't want your students to spend time playing any of our games, you can come here and uncheck these boxes, and I'm going to actually disable some of these games, and later on when I log in as a student, you'll be able to see that I don't have access to these games. I don't want this game and I don't want this game. I'm going to save all changes. Next, we have the Lessons tab, and it works just like the Games tab. Here, I can disable the lessons, and the students won't be able to see them when they access their student accounts. Now, a couple of things here. By default, when students log in, they do have access to all of the typing lessons. If you create an assignment and the lesson that you're assigning is disabled, the students won't be able to see it when they access their student accounts. So you need to make sure that the lesson that you're assigning is enabled on this page. It needs to be checked. I'm going to disable the intermediate section, and I'm going to save all changes. Next, we have grading. And here is where you are going to set the perfect speed, the lowest speed, and based on that, your students will get a grade. And here you can also set your benchmarks. You will enter the minimum speed required, the minimum accuracy required, and your students won't be able to move on to the next lesson unless they meet the minimum requires that you enter here. Next, we have message. And here you can leave a message for your students. When they log in, they'll be able to see your message on their dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and create a custom message, and later on when I log in as a student, you'll be able to see that. Finally, we have general options, and here there are a bunch of settings that you can change. You can allow your students to skip the typing lessons or not. You can change the keyboard layout, the language of the website. You can disable account changes. That means that your students will or will not be able to change their names, passwords, etc. All of those settings are on this page. Always, always, always remember to click Save All Changes. Now we can move on to assignments. Here we're going to be able to see all of the assignments that you create across all of your classes. If you need to delete or edit an assignment, come to this page and then hover over the assignment and click the pencil icon to edit it or the trash icon to delete it. Next, we have reports. On this page it's where you're going to run all of your reports. We have different types of reports. You can enter filters and select a custom date range. Some of these filters you won't be able to select because of the type of report that you're running. So let's say I'm going to run the student activity summary report. I only have one class. I can't select the unit unless it filters, but I can select a date range and it's going to be custom. I want to know what my students worked on December 1st. There won't be any results because all of my student accounts are new, but you'll be able to see all of that information here. And finally, we have curriculum. On this page, you are going to see all of the typing lessons that come with the program. You cannot delete these lessons, you cannot edit them. However, you have the option to create custom lessons and custom tests. So you will come to this page and click create custom lesson. I'm going to go ahead and create a custom lesson. Again, you will see what the custom lesson looks like when I access my student account. Now I'm going to go ahead and select one of the student accounts that I created and access that account. Then all of the assignments that I created, all of the settings that I changed will be reflected on that account. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. To get my username and password, I can click the pencil icon. I'm going to go to the student portal and enter my username and my password. Now you can see that I'm inside my student account, and the first thing that you can see is the message that I created. And that's right here. Then we have the assignments section. These are the two assignments that I created. We have the first lesson and we have the written prompt. I'm going to click start here so that you can see what that looks like. Now you can see here that I cannot submit this assignment until I type at least 30 words. I'm going to go back. Another thing here, the students don't have access to the intermediate section, and that's because I disabled that. The custom lesson that I created is right here. All of the custom lessons that you create will be here. Then they have access to the other lessons like digital literacy, coding, and typing practice. I'm going to stop here for a second and I'm going to tell you a little bit about your problem keys. Typing.com will create lessons for your students that contains the keys that they have the most problems with. So this is a very useful and important feature that we have. Next, we have the test page. Teachers can disable this page by changing the settings of the class. Now, students have access to time test and page test. They will get a certificate for each attempt and they'll be able to print that certificate. Teachers can also print the certificate for the students. Next, we have the games page. Right now, you can only see 2 games, and that's because I disabled all of the other games. If you want to enable the rest of the games, or if you want to hide all of the games, you have to change the settings of your class. Next, we have achievements. And on this page, students can keep track of the achievements that they've earned. And this is just to get them excited about their accounts and their avatars. Next, we have themes. And on this page, students can change the look of their accounts. We have a princess theme, we have pirates, spaceships. I'm gonna go ahead and change the theme of this account so that you can see what that looks like. Now I've changed the theme of my account. Now a couple of tips. If you create an assignment and the students can't see it when they access their accounts, that's probably because the lesson that you assign is not enabled. You have to change the settings of your class to enable the lesson that you've assigned, and then the students will be able to see the assignment. If students go to account settings, they will see this section right here, join a different classroom. Students will be able to join another class or to move their accounts from one class to another by entering the join code here. Now, earlier I mentioned that when teachers create a class, each class has a unique self-join link. The last part of that link is the join code, and that's what the students can enter here, and they'll be able to join a new classroom. Please note that if you're rostering your classes through Clever or ClassLink, your students won't have access to this section right here to join a different classroom by using a join code. Teachers can print login cards for their students, but only if they have standard username and password accounts. We don't store Google, Clever, or ClassLink passwords. And because of that, if you're rostering your classes through any of these three softwares, you won't be able to print login cards. To print login cards, you have to go to My Classes, go to your class, select all of your students, and then hover over Bulk Actions. And here you can print login cards, you can unlink students. That means that you are removing the student account from your teacher account, but the student still has access to his or her account. You can move the students to another class within your teacher account. You can edit password in bulk. That means that all of your students will have the same password. You can delete the student accounts, or you can reset your students' progress. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned that teachers have access to a real-time activity feed section right here. And as you can see, it's telling me now that my student is online, he is viewing the lessons page, and that student is part of my class Keyboarding 5. So you'll be able to see all of your students that are currently online on this section, and you'll be able to see what they are working on under current activity. You can see the type of account that you have right here. This is a teacher account. But if you need to make this a school account or a district account, you have to go to Account and then click Convert Account Type for free. And then you'll select the type of account that you want. You can check our other how-to videos. They'll show you how to use all of the features that typing.com has.